As seen previously on the Dental Dummies, Min and Joe tackled Ronnie Lowe. We found him in a slightly inebriated state, but we learned a lot about his practice and where he's headed in the future. Today, Dr. Min and Joe, president extraordinaire of CFS, tackle the biggest problems in dentistry. The big, beautiful bill, student loans. Will Min find a wife? Yes, because he just got married this year. How did I know? Because I was there. Anything to comment, Min? What about that for an intro? Anything to comment, Min? What about that for an intro? And I'm also out of Topo Chico, so I gotta get my thing.
Our sponsor.
Our sponsor, Topo Chico. This one's tangerine ginger extract, so I feel fancy, but it's 10 extra calories, so beware. These are for the heavy hitters.
Oh my
Bulking up
God.
for the winter. 15 calories instead of 5, man. It's not good.
That's too much. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dental Dummies Podcast. I'm your co-host, Dr. Minh Nguyen, orthodontist extraordinaire, business owner, financial consultant, former drummer, football player, only up to high school. I wasn't tall enough, big enough, or fast enough.
You were the water boy for your local regional junior team.
And everybody here knows Joe DiMarco.
That's right. What am I? Venture capitalist, student loan expert, insurance guru. Definitely not short. And long luscious hair, right, man? Even though it does look like it looks like I'm balding with the heads, but it's not true.
Dude, your facial hair grows back wicked fast. It was just 2 weeks ago or something.
It was
we
gone?
had the last episode. You were baby smooth like me.
I'm like Patrick in SpongeBob. Or no, not Patrick. What was it? You know the bad guy in the first SpongeBob movie where he's like, "That's not a mustache. There's some lettuce stuck on your lip," and he pulls it off and he goes, "This is a mustache," and he goes, "Urgh," and the beard comes out.
I don't watch SpongeBob. I've never seen the show.
You're making me concerned, man. Everybody watches SpongeBob. You should watch the SpongeBob movie after this.
No, I don't watch anything until like September through February on Sundays. That's the only time the TV's basically on. Otherwise, it's just background noise or whatever is like streaming.
Plenty to catch up on. New season of Rick and Morty's done. Wednesday Addams' new season comes out this Wednesday. And I'm pretty sure a new season of Naked and Afraid's coming out. Which, that's my favorite show.
I have no idea what any of those shows are.
Catch up. You have plenty of time. You're an orthodontist. Just do it in between patients. So today we'll talk about some of the stuff because the student loans are coming up for some people. They're not for others. A lot of you are in the SAVE plan. A lot of you are looking at the new IBR. Some people are looking at doing the pay plan. Now, just little clip notes here for people who weren't paying attention to their loans. It seems like SAVE might be gonzo, but we're still waiting on the final word. So in the meantime, interest is going to accumulate in that plan for the next, it seems about a year. It doesn't mean the plan's bad. Once you leave SAVE, you're probably never going to be able to get back into it. Just because the way it works is once you leave a plan, you can only get in the available plans, and we all know the current president does not like SAVE. It's okay for some people to leave. It's okay for some people to refinance. Just know it is a big decision, and even though interest is accumulating, there is also a chance that all that gets overturned and we're stuck in the same loop, and you may not have a payment for a year. Like Min was asking me, he's like, what should I do? Like, based on him being a business owner and saving money for his business and starting to really ramp up his production, because Min's actually doing very well this year. He's getting busy. He's putting money into ads. For people who are budding owners like Min, you should probably stay in the SAVE plan, let the interest accrue, and just save that money, even though you're losing some interest potentially, to put it towards marketing, put it towards your business. Or if you're a resident, you can leave it, put it towards your business. These other plans are not bad, but once you leave SAVE, it's gone. So make.
Before
Oh,
before we
sorry.
get into the nuances of save, let's do a quick recap of what save was. It was income based repayments, 10% discretionary income minus the poverty line. So depends on what you make. So if you make like 200K, you'd be paying back like a couple grand a month post taxes. And depending on the math, for those that owed, rule of thumb for me was like over 500K. By the time you do your monthly discretionary payments for 25 years, that amount of money plus the back end of the taxes of that would be amount forgiven on the balance, that together is your total repayment. Would sometimes be a little bit higher than what your original principal was, but also you get better value in today's money where you could put it towards a business, stock market, and whatever versus hustling to pay it off. Is there anything else I'm missing from the original save plan?
No, and that basically sums up the original save plan, and that's what would stay if it does stick around.
What are the new rules with now the save is, well, no, the interest is, now we've been lucky for the past 5 years since the first term with this president and COVID, since March of 2020. So all interest has been on pause basically under the right plan since then. Interest is kicking back in, and I don't know the full details of this new IBR. Can you just rattle off a couple of the nitty gritty stuff and then explain how it could work in someone's favor and who's a
Yeah,
good
I
fit?
could, mind you, everybody takes notes. Anybody who says they don't, they're a liar.
Okay, new IBR. Go ahead.
So it's still a 10-15% payment, and you'll still get the years towards forgiveness. It's just not forgiving all the remaining interest like the other plan did.
You mean the forgiving the remaining balance,
Yeah,
principal and interest at the end?
that's how save used to go. Is they would forgive the remaining. No, it would just forgive all the remaining interest. So let's say you paid 12 grand a year. Your interest was 24 grand. The other 12 grand would go away because government debt is interest first with all your payments. So if you accrue 50 grand in interest and you overpay one monthly payment, it just pays that interest for the year. Like you have to pay off all the interest before you can attack the principal. It's not like your car loan where if you overpay $100 extra a month, it's doing something. It doesn't work like that with the government. So that's why like the save plan and repay were so good because they forgave extra interest. It's not doing that anymore. It's doing similar to what pay does, which is you just make your payment. So it's basically like the pay plan. They do the same thing. You pay 15% of your income, and you know after 20 years they forgive the balance. So we can still do the forgiveness plan. It's just you're not getting the interest forgiveness every once. Like repay used to forgive half of the unpaid interest that was left. Save forgave all the unpaid interest that was left. So there
Yes.
were more people that went into the forgiveness bucket than we used to recommend back when it was just pay. Does that make sense? So like when we first met, because repay was in there, it made sense for you to be on the repay plan.
Right,
And then save
50%
was,
subsidized. Now,
yeah, and
and
then with
save got upgraded to 100% subsidized.
correct. And they thought because they made it better for everybody that it was legal, but you're not allowed to change any existing plans. So because he changed it, that's what's causing all this crap. Is both Biden and Trump were wrong. And now we're in this matrix of problems, and it's all gonna it's gonna figure itself out one way or another, whether it's good or bad for some people. But you got all these years of no payments. So in my opinion, there's no wrong way to do it, but I definitely would try to do the new IBR plan or stay in safe for now, unless your advisor tells you otherwise. And everybody's different. When you're married, it's different. When you're a contractor, it's different. You can hide income different ways when you're an independent contractor, which we won't talk too much about on here because everything I say is recorded and I don't want to show certain loopholes that we use because not because of sharing it, it's because if it's interpreted the wrong way, you could almost, I don't want to say you get in trouble, but then people try to create a whole issue over like how we use our tax strategies to save you money. Does that make sense?
Yes, even down to like nail salons, they do the same thing. Every
Yeah.
business does it to a degree,
Yeah, like
in
we
their own varying degree. Yep.
like for instance, like controlling your salary. If you keep your salary low, it's going to keep your payments low to your student loans, and that helps a lot. But then there's other things that go into that. Like if you're over taking out or you're buying too many things that aren't tax advantageous, your income might be too high. So I don't want to give generic advice on here that somebody tries to replicate, doesn't get a good result, and then blames me. But the moral of the story is right now, the new plan isn't bad. The current plan that most people are in isn't bad. But most people are choosing on Tuesday, August 5th, on what to do, which is half the reason I wanted to talk a little bit today because it was like before the deadline. But also, you're not losing anything if you do nothing. They're saying you might lose the year's source forgiveness and stuff, but you can call and like, there's a lot of ways to fix that if you call the government. Like, as long as there's reasonable doubt or issues, like it sucks because you're on the phone for hours and hours, but most of these things can be fixed or reversed as long as you have a professional helping you that knows what to ask.
Okay. So if someone stays and save, with the new law, the 10% discretionary income, 25 years, is there no longer the interest subsidy?
No.
Or is that just
it's just in forbearance basically. You're just getting full interest. But you're still in save, but you're getting full interest. That's why it might be good for some people. If you're a few years out, like you 2 years in the future, I probably would have you move to the new IBR.
and under the new IBR plan, 10 to 15% payments, 20 years forgiveness, right? No interest subsidy. Is that the only difference? Is the 25-year, 20
That's
year
the
thing?
only main difference, yeah.
All right, I got it. So that it really depends on what people's projected final balances would help determine the strategy. Because I think a lot of doctors out there, they're
really
looking
just
for a
depends on your
set it and
taxes.
forget it. But it's
Yeah.
really something I tell people, you really have to monitor it every year because your career trajectory is so different. You could be an associate making 200-300, right? But then by year 5, what if you're a practice owner in 7 figures?
And imagine if you were managing 300, 400, 500 grand of money, would you set it and forget it? Sometimes, but most people look at it, you look at your 401ks, treat it like it's a retirement account. And that's how you'll care just enough, but not obsess over it. Because some people overly obsess on their loans, and your loans are good for you. Having student loans that helps your credit. Your payments to student loans are all the people look at when determining your debts for other things. So, like, aggressively paying your student loans before buying a house could get you a worse interest rate on a house or a worse interest rate on a practice. And practices could cost millions of dollars. I had someone overpaying their student loans by double. They go to buy an office. The Bank of America was looking at it, was like, your minimum payment's 70 grand a year. The required payment was only 20. But by paying that much, they're looking at your payments and they're like, well, how can I subsist off you? Now, Bank of America still gave them a great loan, but it was 0.5% more than market, and nobody was going to touch them with a better deal because, it's you're paying a bunch of your debt. Like, that was the best deal, even though it wasn't the best deal. It was the best deal because your environment made that the best deal. Like, controlling your environment and understanding that it's all connected. I tell people it's like a spider web. Like, you got to watch every little part of your financials. It's not just your taxes. You don't want a tax guy, a loan guy, a investment guy, all these people. You should have a team just weaving all these things at the same time that's always talking. Even if they're all separate people, all we're doing in our company is we're having 6, 7 of these people. They're just all in the same room. That's the only value add I'm giving you. You can still piecemeal a team, and some people do that, but like, big strategy is just doing it all at the same time.
And I think that's what a lot of doctors don't realize. They think it's like, oh, my accountant, the CPA does the bookkeeping, does all this stuff. Da, da, da. It's like, no, that's not the case.
But if
Or
your
my financial
accountant's
planner
still,
does this. There's no way. It's
it,
everyone has a specific role and how they coordinate. And I think the biggest advantage of just our company is just that literally communication is so fast because they're like 5 feet away from each other. That's really
well,
what
and
it is.
like for example, like when I was giving you money last month for your bribery, and how they were like, oh, you got to break it up and do it like this because this looks too big. Like, that's important stuff. I was just gonna pay. I didn't know. Like, and I'm supposed to be one of the people who know. Like, and the accountants, the bookkeeper was like, stop, you can't do that. And it's like, it's nice to know that how those things work, like how paying different contractors or like stuff, because you don't know, you might be screwing over your associates' taxes, or you may be setting yourself in a bad spot. If you want to do a startup, there's certain ways to position yourself financially to be ready for a startup versus an acquisition. Or if you're doing an acquisition and there's a building involved and you don't take the right financial steps, you can't buy the building for 5 years. Well, sometimes that works out in your favor, but sometimes the building's worth double then, and the buildings are normally a sunk cost. Like you got to think about all moving parts, and you want everybody in your team to, like, when all you specialists are working together, it's not like you're just being an orthodontist and not talking to the other specialists and building a plan. If you do everything strictly from an ortho perspective, you're not thinking about everything else in the mouth. Because there is the perfect way to do something with your specialty, but then there's the perfect way to do something when it involves like a big case that's involving an endodontist and a periodontist and like a prosthodontist and like rebuilding that whole smile. Like there's really big cases. It's not just your world anymore. It's not like mine. My case was easy. You throw shit in my mouth, I show up 3 times, and you're good. Right?
Speaking of which, you're probably due for an appointment.
I am due for it, but I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'll come down. Maybe we'll do one of those. We'll have to do one while we're both down there.
I have to.
I'll sit on your lap. The studio's small, but I don't mind. But the big thing is like thinking about the whole picture. Like you want, just like how you guys out in the wild partner and everything, because like even some GPs that do a bunch of stuff, they're not just doing it from a one perspective. You have to think about how everything meshes together to make that perfect smile. It's no different than your financial situation. If you have a guy based on investments, someone who cares about your insurance, someone who cares about your, like they all care about the one thing and they don't talk to each other, you might be okay, but you're probably going to be in a less okay spot than if they all just talk to each other.
A lot of people tend to think they can just have a one person set it and forget it, or I know a guy or an uncle this or uncle that. But they don't realize it's like, or their friend down the street has this plan and this is what they recommended. But it really has to be no different than clinical work. It has to be let's review all the problems you have, because your amount of debt that you come out of school with and what your goals are different. And the plan to accomplish those goals are all different from everybody. So, no.
Also, like, you don't want the uncle that you're kissing on the lips during Thanksgiving to be giving you financial advice. That's a conflict of interest. What's wrong? You don't
just had to go there.
You don't have any uncles, do you?
I do. The nearest one's in Maryland. He's cool.
Do you have those kind of uncles?
No. He took me to the first Redskins game though. It was a lot of fun with my cousin. I was like 98. This is like before you were born.
No, I was born. I just wasn't very
Joe
old.
was born. He wasn't as old as me.
I wasn't. You weren't that old.
I'm not that much older than you.
Yeah, you're not. You weren't that old.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna.
So that's the new student loan review. So again, if you're on Save, a new IBR, it's gonna be hard to get on Save if you're not already on it. If you're already on it, hold steady, watch it closely, work with your financial team, give us a call. Give one of our advisors a call. We're happy to chat with you guys, and then we'll review your situation.
Yeah, it's not a rush. Don't everybody run, and it's not like all the other times where it's like don't treat it like the Pokemon cards at Target where they're you're all fighting each other to get them now, which is crazy.
Costco, it's two per customer. They gave you
a ticket.
It's
not. I saw the videos. You see the big guys like stacking them on their cards.
The one here that I was walking there to get something else for the office, like a new camera thing, and then they were like, they stopped me. They stopped me at the door. When you check in your membership card, you scan the barcode. They're like, "Are you here for the Pokemon?" Because I'm young, I'm Asian, and I'm like, "No, I'm not here for the Pokemon."
You're like, "Now I am."
I'm like, "Should I be?"
You bolt to the drop.
I'm like, I started searching it. I'm like, should I be in line for the Pokemon? They had a separate checkout line, and I was like, maybe I should get in this line.
I think it's just unnecessarily creating its own hype. But it is pretty awesome, and card collecting is fun, so I'm not going to diss it.
It is fun. The National is actually happening now. You missed Fanatics Fest this year, but we'll go to the National, which is like all cards and memorabilia. more
It's not like
hardcore.
regionals. Nationals is a bigger deal.
Yeah, the National Card Convention. Like it, I've never been to it, so we'll try to go next year. It's in Chicago this year, and I think it'll be in Chicago again next year. Yeah,
Chicago
anyways.
has one of the only McDonald's where you can order the stuff from all the menus globally. You can order different McDonald's, like what McDonald's is in like Korea and like in like India and stuff. Did you know
Why are
that?
you why are you telling me this now? I would have checked
Because you
this out
mentioned
earlier.
Chicago. It's a fun fact I had in my brain.
All right, so not only do they have Super Chicago deep dish pizza, you can go to this special McDonald's where you can order McDonald's from anywhere in the
I think it's
country,
called
people.
McDonald's Global.
And McDonald's is not a sponsor, by the way, but they're welcome to be.
No, they're not. We're not a seed oil company. They have to be using seed oils. We're anti seed oils now. No seeds. I'm not a car. I don't need gasoline. Maybe.
Oh,
Um,
what do we
no,
have
but
next on the
yeah.
agenda? What do we got?
Um, well, so we talked about loans, talked about like just don't rush on them this time. It's not as big of a deal, but definitely start building a plan. Um, the big beautiful bill has a lot of tax advantageous stuff. Excuse me. So it's not a ton. Some people it's like 10%. It's good for people making 250 and up, which is most of our demographic of doctors, even the people who are owners who may not be making 250 on paper but are making it. There's a lot of stuff that changed for the research and development credit that we're doing for customers. Like you'll talk with your advisor if you're already working with us. If not, a lot of these things have added significant tax advantages for people in the upper middle class and up. It's not really that good for anybody below 250, but it's saving you some money. But the business owners, people who own practices, you're going to start seeing a lot of tax advantageous things going on. On the downside, we've had to up our accounting fee because it's a lot more work for us. But on the bright side, the fee increase was like this, and the tax advantages were like this. So it's definitely made accounting harder, but more thoughtful.
And for those that haven't figured it out after like my like 3 going on 4 years now or something of presentations, it may be more work to be a business owner, but you do have its perks where you have tax deductions, tax write offs, uh, meals and travel. When it's business related, it doesn't feel like as much of a hit on your bank account. So this is just another way where the government wants to be able to incentivize you to take the risk and become a business owner. Nothing wrong with staying an employee and an associate forever if that's what fits you. But for those that are leading towards the business route, they know of the general word of like write off, and it's just now what this extra step was make it more specific to allow tax credit. So that means like money back towards you. Is that what tax
Sure.
credit is versus tax write off? What's the do you know what's
They're
the
literally
difference?
they're the same thing. It's just
Okay.
credits and write-offs are very like for all intensive simplified purposes, they are the same thing. And you could be an associate and still take this because you could have a company working for another company. So a lot of you guys are independent contractors. So all these rules apply to you and not just someone who owns quote unquote a dental office. There are differences. You do get more advantages, but you still get a ton of advantages just being an independent contractor. And it is almost always better to be a contractor because you can decide your own benefits. You can make your own 401k, health insurance, all these things that employers give you, unless it's exactly what you want, you can make it better on your own and you can control your write-offs. That's not saying to go and haggle with every employer and get rid of your W-2s, but if you're doing multiple jobs, it's good to try to get a 1099 in the mix or start looking into 1099s when you're looking at jobs because there's a lot more flexibility when you have control. And, it's the truth. More freedom, you're more happiness. Like if you could choose to spend in a way that's supporting your lifestyle and reducing your taxable income. And that's kind of what our company's about is helping you build a plan around your lifestyle and like what you like to do. Like I like to go to Florida. I go to Florida 6 weeks of the year. I go to Mickey Land, I do the runs, I go to Universal and I do the rides. And I purposely donate to charities that specifically benefit those areas, and I get free races. I go to dentists, like a lot of the dentists I work with in Orlando get visited a lot when I'm there to help support. I take clients to Disney World. I'm literally taking one of my best friends, not Dr. Min, but one of my close friends, Justin. We're going for the Mickey Not So Scary parade. And guess what? That's a write off because he's a customer. I'm paying for both of us. We're going down there, and guess what? I get to go do what I wanted to do, and it's a write off. So it's channeling those things. Like when I go visit Min, I'm doing things that I probably wouldn't do if I wasn't seeing a client, but it's benefiting me and Min. We're gonna eat places where we want to eat and like do stuff. We go to the movies and hold hands, and the Deadpool movie was good. Remember, we saw that. Are you allowed to say that now that it's so much later? Was that your first time or
Oh,
second time seeing it? Because Tamana, remember, she was gonna be upset.
I don't even remember
I think we
which.
saw it when it came out because I was down there. Remember, you have the what's it called, the Alamo movie theater, right?
Yes, the Alamo Draft House. It's a nice
Remember
one.
the Alamo. Um, but like building your lifestyle around it, like the reason I'm friends with my clients isn't just to help my business grow. It's because I can enjoy these things with people that I want to share my time with. It's not saying that I'll go take all your patients out to like drinks, but like if you have big cases or if you have other doctors that you are very friendly with, utilize that to help each other. You can write off a lot of things. You can go to CEs together. You can, when you go to a CE, do some fun stuff around there. You can make work fun, and involving your work a little bit and blending your personal can give you that little spark to where like people always ask me, how do I work all these hours? It's part of my lifestyle. Like I get to do all these really cool things while I'm working. Does that make sense?
I think being a business owner now, when I approach certain expenses, it's like I do try to determine what would be considered, a business, and where am I at right now? Because in my for Excelsior, because we're streaming in from not just an orthodontic side of revenue, but also a consulting side of revenue, and even for October, it was a photography side of revenue, where I was hired to be an engagement photographer, which is a lot of fun. Actually, that was a fun experience to go down to Florida and capture that moment. That was a lot of fun. So, you
Exactly.
know,
And um it gets you all those perks.
yeah, cool. So, research and development tax credit on the big beautiful bill. Be on the lookout if you're a business owner, a 1099, and talk to your financial team. You can give us a call if you want more details. We're happy to run it through with a couple of our, prospective client intake team members. Definitely can run that board for you guys.
Yeah, we'll give a little commercial like, if you're looking for insurance, use CFS. Use us for student loans because we are the best. You want to work with us because Min and Joe Flex muscles. Yeah, no seed oils. CFS. We're just so healthy and strong and exactly what you want to be. Money, sex, insurance. And then you have to start flashing like things like pow, 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 subliminal messaging. Pew, pew. All right, there. I think we did it. I think that won them over.
Oh,
You know.
thank you guys very much for tolerating both me and Joe
Yeah,
for
we'll make
30
it
whole
work.
minutes.
I like
For
it like this.
anybody that made it to the end of this episode, hopefully you got a little fun treat at the end. I think for the hardcore subscribers where I get text messages from them, I think you do too, Joe.
Yeah,
The
I
ones that
get.
follow this stuff religiously, I think they're going to get a good kick out of this at the end of this episode. But thank you guys very much. See you guys soon. Stay on the lookout. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys want. We'll talk to you soon.